Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, I'm asking the question, what is the Democratic Party doing right now? You know, we're in this whole, I put up a recent video talking about this and my thoughts and just the general state of play with regard to the whole leaked phone call between Paetongtarn and Hun Sen. And let's just dive in. I thought of making this video after reading a recent article from The Nation. That's nationthailand.com. Article is titled, Democrat Party Reaches Consensus to Remain in Government Coalition. First off, consensus. I like that word. Let me get to it in a moment. Quoting directly, the Democrat Party reaches consent. They keep saying a couple of things over and over in this article, and I think it's worth pointing it out. The Democrat Party reaches consensus to remain in the government coalition after a 3-hour meeting on Thursday, party leader Chalermchai Srion, who also serves as Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, convened a meeting of the party's executive committee to discuss the current political situation and decide whether to withdraw from or continue in the government coalition. This decision comes in the wake of the leaked audio clip between Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra and Cambodian Senate President Hun Sen, which mentioned the commander of the 2nd Army Region. Well, mentioned, the Prime Minister undermined him. She said he was an opponent to the counterparty in these negotiations, which is the representative of another sovereign state that Thailand is in, at least right now, a nominal conflict with. So I would say, you know, mentioned is a bit of an understatement. Quoting further, before the meeting, Chalermchai denied reports that the Democratic Party had been offered additional ministerial positions. Again, consensus and additional ministerial positions are two recurring themes throughout this. And I'm using the thumbnail of, you know, the line from Braveheart, which is, you're all busy arguing over the scraps from Longshank's table. You've forgotten your God-given right to something better, which I'm starting to wonder about the Democrat Party. Because the Democrat Party, if you go back to 2010, which I was here on the ground, and boy, did that conflict come right to my doorstep. At that time, the Democrats were completely at odds with these folks. So for them to be in a coalition government, especially in light of what Ms. Paetongtarn did last week, I find it just flabbergasting. Absolutely. And I do have to wonder, what were you offered? What are you getting for that? And then this whole notion of consensus I'll get to here in a moment. Quoting further, regarding public calls for the Democrat Party to withdraw from the coalition, it's notable that the second largest party, Boomjai Thai, already did, which traditionally they had more, yeah, there was a break there, but they're kind of more ideologically aligned, if you will, with Pheu Thai, much more so than the Democrats have ever been. Quoting further, Chalermchai acknowledged that there were both requests to leave and expressions of support, each with valid reasoning. He assured that the party would carefully consider all perspectives. Over 3 hours? You know, a matter of hours after the incident occurred, maybe go back to the drawing board and rethink. My thoughts. Quoting further, Jinjira Ratanapian stated that the decision made by the party's executive committee today was considered a consensus. Now this, okay, first of all, what does that mean, considered a consensus? Well, if you know the background here, there's a major rift inside the Democrat Party. A lot of people have been talking about the rift inside of the UTN party, which apparently there is, but people are kind of forgetting there is a rift within the Democrat Party. And I'm very curious to know what Mr. Opposite has to say about all this, the former Prime Minister who came from the Democrat Party. As I've noticed, there's no mention of him in the article. That said, quoting further, she clarified that the meeting was intended to discuss the political situation and that no discussions about ministerial positions took place. Quickly here, as I've discussed in other videos, we do have a paid news service, Integrity News Service. You can email us if you want information on how to subscribe to that. I do longer form videos, getting into sort of the deeper rabbit holes of how probably now moving forward, a lot of these videos are going to be about political stuff and how it will probably impact the expat world here in Thailand. Also, very quickly, I want to go ahead and plug Pancake Palace. We recently started a new restaurant here in Thailand. It's dedicated to kind of American diner food and all-day breakfast. Pancake Palace, we've got buffalo wings, we've got cheeseburgers, and of course, we've got all-day breakfast and pancakes. We've got great chili. For folks who like American diner food, maybe check that out. That said, going back here, again, I want to quote again, no discussions about ministerial positions took place. Again, that's said multiple times throughout the article, and this notion of a consensus. I just want to know what the Democrats are even thinking as a whole party, because, Boom Jai Thai pulled out and they were in the coalition and they were part of the government far longer than the Democrats were. The Democrats have said they've been sort of trying to find their way, if you will, with regard to where they stand politically. And, this is the time where you need to kind of stand up and be counted, because I got to be honest with you, if the actions of the Prime Minister indeed did not have any ill intent involved, if there was no, for lack of a better term, malice aforethought, it was simply, frankly, her incompetence and naivete that caused this, then she probably shouldn't be heading the government to begin with. Now, does that mean you pull out of the coalition? I don't exactly know. But that said, I think maybe a new consensus should be come to.